Hello everyone, and welcome to your Case of the Ex tarot reading for April 2018. This is for those of you that have a Gemini Ex. We will explore how your ex-Gemini is feeling and thinking about you and the relationship you guys shared in the month of April 2018. Also, their energy for any sort of reconciliation or communication from you, how the energies are most likely to play out between the two of you in April 2018. So, as always, all the decks I'm using in this reading are listed in the description box below. So, let's pull a card to get the overall energy of your Gemini Ex when it comes to you and the relationship you guys share. This is going to be a really high perspective, the basis of the reading, and then we will pull more cards from there. So, you guys have lost love. So with this energy, this is saying that no matter what happened, no matter what your Gemini is telling you, they definitely feel the loss of you. And but the thing about this card is this is more of like I'm letting go and I'm moving on and I'm trying to heal myself. So for many of you with a Gemini Ex, your Gemini definitely does miss you and love you and feels the loss of you, but for whatever reason, it's like they're just accepting that and they're trying to heal themselves and move on. Some of them, it's because you broke up with them and you know they've just come to a place in themselves where they don't think you guys are ever going to get back together, okay? Or because you broke up with them, it's like, okay, well, guess what? They're going to be stubborn and now block you if you try to come back in. Now, if this Gemini broke up with you, I feel as though either A, they really just don't want to be in the relationship anymore, or B, at this point, because of what they did or, you know, breaking up with you, they don't think like you would take them back or that there is any going back, okay? So for those of you with a Gemini Ex, they are definitely in a place in April where they feel like they've lost you for whatever reason. It's going to be different for all of you as this is general, but they're also like surrendering to it and they're trying to heal and like move forward and let things go. So let's pull a Cups card. And this is just for April, okay? This doesn't mean like forever after, but in April, that's where they are predominantly at when it comes to you in the relationship. So let's pull a Cups card to see what their emotional energy is specifically regarding you and the relationship that you shared in April 2018. Yeah, so we have the Five of Cups here. Definitely a feeling of loss. Like it's lost, it's ruined, it can never be again. You know, the cups are spilled. So whether the relationship is over because of their fault or your fault, your ex-Gemini is really feeling the loss of you and the relationship in April. Like they're hurting. I don't care what they're telling you, they definitely feel the hurt inside of their heart about you guys. So let's see what their mental energy is about you and the relationship in April. Okay, so Ace of Orbs. So this says a couple different things to me. Either they're like, they're being very wise and logical in their viewpoint about you and the relationship you guys shared, or they finally have come into some mental clarity, or they have a new vision about the way forward. And, you know, and that does include you, but it could mean like the way forward is we just can never speak again, or the way forward is we can only be friends, or, you know, this is general. So for some of you, the way forward may be a reconciliation at some point down the line. But, you know, within their mind, they've come into a new perspective and new clarity, which I'm not surprised to see with this. It's, you know, it's, I'm hurting, but I'm coming to the place where I surrender to that pain, and I want to understand why this all took place in my life. What was it trying to teach me? Where is it leading me? What's the best path forward for me in the future? Okay, so let's pull a Flames card to look at their spiritual energy around you and the relationship you guys shared. So they, even though, you know, they have this nice clear mind, they have a 5 in the heart and then a 5 in the spirit, which is very challenging energy. So they're a bit conflicted. There's a battle that goes on inside of them when it comes to you, because they do feel a spiritual connection with you. But again, it's kind of like, no matter how bad I'm hurting, or no matter I miss them, or despite this connection, it's like they're in this new perspective, this new way forward. So let's see. We're going to pull some emotion cards to really define this energy. The first card will talk about how they feel about you specifically. And this is, again, all through the month of April 2018. How they feel about the relationship you shared specifically, and then how they feel about a reconciliation or any sort of communication with you in April 2018. So, how they feel about you, this is shy, timid, introverted, reserved. So, I don't feel that they are going to be super expressive to you about how they really feel about you, no matter how they're feeling, even if they were like dying and they want you back. Like, they're being really reserved, introverted, keeping a lot to themselves. So through April, I don't see a whole lot of self-expression coming from your Gemini Ex. Like, they're kind of hiding their feelings. Do you see that depicted in this card? It's like they're hiding how they feel, and they're not going to outrightly express that to you. How they're feeling about the relationship you shared, relieved. So with this, I feel like the breakup had to happen. Whether you broke up with them or they broke up with you, the breakup is much pain. Like, this is so bizarre for me to see that, but it's just like they're happy. Well, happy isn't the correct term. Like, the relationship needed to end. There was either something on their end or something on your end. And so the fact that it broke up, there was like a sense of relief. And that's going to mean something different for each one of you. That does not have to be like a bad negative, like, oh, they were so happy to get rid of you type of thing. If you've just been really having a challenging relationship with somebody, sometimes when you finally part ways and take a break, there is a sense of relief. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting, is like there was just something, and you guys parting ways brought relief to both of you. How they feel about a reconciliation or potential like communication. They have not made up their mind fully. Okay, like I said, I feel this here is like I'm surrendering to what is, and I'm going to focus on healing myself and releasing, and I'm going to kind of just be up in my head, but very focused energy forward. So this is like up in the air. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to happen, really. I really don't know. So your Gemini doesn't really know. And that might be why they're, you know, keeping things to themselves. So let's pull some cards to see why your ex-Gemini feels this relationship had to end, or why it's still broken up at this time. Look at that. That card flipped over. And that just happened to be at the top where I stopped because I just cut. This is where I'm going to pull your cards from. But so deceit, whether your Gemini was deceptive to you or you were deceptive to your Gemini in some way, like that's definitely a part of why Gemini feels the relationship is not together. So we have lust. Somebody could have cheated for sure. And then we have trapped. Wow. So, wow. Yeah. So either Gemini got involved with somebody else, like cheated, got emotionally involved. They didn't have to physically cheat. Or like you did that to Gemini. It's like, that's why this had to end. Or if there was no cheating at all, it's interesting because with lust and trapped there, it's like I'm in this relationship and I want out because something else is tempting me. And that could be why this is the relieved is here. Maybe, you know, your Gemini was feeling tempted outside the relationship, or maybe you were feeling tempted outside of the relationship with your Gemini. But definitely feeling like with deception, lust, and trapped, there was some form of, I want to be with somebody else, or I want to sample that, or I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I don't care that I'm in a relationship. Definitely like third party energy. Or if it's not that, it's like either you really just wanted your freedom or Gemini just really wanted their freedom. Okay. So very, very interesting reading coming out with Gemini. Let's see why you are still holding on to Gemini, like what you feel about Gemini being your one, or let's see. All right, yeah, you really saw potential with this Gemini. This is like, I really want this. I want to do this. You know, I don't care if it's foolish. I don't care if it's risky. I just feel so drawn into this. I'm just going to experience this. So you really thought this Gemini was the one for you. Okay. But with this here, somebody definitely wanted to taste something else or did taste something else. And that's why we are not together. So let's see what the energy is as advice. And you know, with this lost love, surrender, healing, and release, some of you, I feel like your Gemini just didn't want to be tied down anymore. Not so much to even be with somebody else specifically, but just like, I don't want to be tied down. Or it's like this Gemini just wouldn't commit, and it's to do so, like they're being real to themselves, and even like they feel the loss of you and they love you, but there's an element where they got to be true to themselves, and it's like they just were not ready yet for like such an intense relationship, or you weren't ready yet for such an intense and relationship and connection, because there is no finality there on whether Gemini wants to get back with you or not. They really don't know. This is a very interesting energy. I feel like there was a lot of emotions still involved between you and this Gemini when you guys broke up, and whatever happened went down. But it's just good that you guys broke up. Like, somebody was not ready to be tied down in a relationship. Like, they were not ready for that. That is the biggest message here. Yeah, energy was just really scattered. You need to get yourself to be of one mind, one emotion when it comes to this Gemini. And I would say, based on this reading, it should be for healing for yourself, not so much healing for you guys to get back together. Leave that stuff up to the universe, okay? If you guys are meant to be, you guys will get back together eventually, but that's not for you to decide when. That's, you know, the universe handles all that. So this is saying really balance yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually when it comes to this ex-Gemini, and you will find clarity and healing, okay? You guys definitely need to have a conversation, but this is saying, like, you need to be 100% honest and authentic when you speak to your Gemini ex, if you guys do speak, because you being your 100% authentic true self is like what would change everything. Okay, really, even if your Gemini is the one that was just full of crap, you still be your authentic true self. Spirit keepers of the north. This is saying right now is a time for healing, and it's not a time for reconciliation and rebuilding the relationship per se. This is more about healing and gathering your resources. They're great white buffalo. Because, you know, something is going to change in this energy between the two of you. It's just not April. Yeah, look at that. Spirit keepers of the east. How perfect is that coming right after the white buffalo? Yes, this is the spring. This is newness, new beginnings. You know, let go of the past, let go of the old so the new can come in. Now, this could be... you need to let go of the past and let go of the old, because eventually you and Gemini here are going to work things out. Or this is saying you need to let go of the past, let go of the old, because the great white buffalo, which is heralding the spirit keepers of the east, is there's something much better for you than this Gemini on the horizon. And lastly, peace pipe. This is saying forgiveness needs to take place in your heart. And whether you and this Gemini verbally communicate with that talking stick, you know, the peace pipe needs to be passed. So however you need to find the forgiveness and healing inside of yourself to let this Gemini go and move forward, you need to do it. Whether that's because you're moving on to something better, or eventually you and this Gemini are going to work things out. It's, you know, really undecided in April. So those are the messages I have for those of you that have a Gemini X. I hope that you have found this helpful, and I'm wishing you all the best for April. Take care.